professionals from various universities and industry partners who have successfully implemented these tools in educational settings. Our esteemed guests will be discussing case studies, challenges faced, and lessons learned from their institutions and experiences. Let's begin by introducing our panelists. Professor Hani Nashar, CIO and Digital Transformation Consultant at Bani Suef University. Assistant Professor Wala Sarhan, Director of the E-Learning Unit, Director of E-Exam Center, and member of the ranking team, Zagazig University. Dr. Mahmoud Faiz, Lecturer of Computer Systems and ASU to Learn Project Consultant at Ain Shams University. Dr. Khadija Al-Bidwihi, founder of Braxi Labs and hold a PhD in Human-Computer Interaction, University of Sheffield. Thank you all for joining us today. The potential for a transformative shift in education through digital transformation is immense, offering new possibilities for both learners and educators. Our focus lies in exploring real-life examples, proven strategies, and impactful resources that can genuinely elevate learning outcomes and cultivate a more immersive digital education environment. We are eager to explore case studies, best practices, and influential tools that have the power to revolutionize the way we learn and teach, creating a more dynamic and enriching educational experience in the digital age. Professor Hani Nashar, kindly provide an example of a successful case study that demonstrates the positive impact of digital transformation in education, emphasizing the most influential tools that can enhance the learning outcomes and augment the digital education experience.
Good afternoon. First, I would like to thank you and Dr. Mona for this invitation. I will start from the same point Professor Ibrahim Awad started. As a university, as a Bani Suef University, we already assessment by Shura capability measurement application. We started to apply IOE with the digital transformation and learning methods. So we highlight our needs and the component. After we classify the component we need in university, we're going to some sort of applied methods in the digital. I would like to share them with you. But you said to me, as a university, we already have 35 institutions. We start to improve student engagement by learning management system. We have two issues inside our university, model which is already built by our team, and the other which is Thinky. Do you know, as an application, we started to use two applications in our university and apply the component of them. Engagement of student, the impact provide all material, all resources, active, we interactive, books, videos on the learning management system. In same time, we built our portal, which is for electronic book, to available, to set availability for our students to take material and going to assess. Okay. We start in another line, which is a main line of architecture, component like interactive panels, screens, and videos. Finally, we have main component. Okay. The key component, which is the learning management system, as I said, which is start from platform, interactive digital tools, and then online collaboration with teams like IIOE, digital content which is available on the portal, the professional development for teachers, instructors, and assessment team. So we start as a result, which is lead to the results of application and the material. Results, we have enhanced student engagement by testing and other collaboration, improve learning outcomes through the items of which is we get from the successful material. Then this add to our scalability of items inside our university from the infrastructure and the connectivity to the materials. Finally, we go to the output of this application of the material. We have some sort of strategic planning inside our steering committee of the university for the learning next environment, stakeholder engagement like chairman and other team inside our organization, professional development like learning out courses inside the university and out the university. Finally, we have fight in one point, which is how to apply data-driven decisions at our university, which is our current fighting point to satisfy the needs of data-driven tools inside our university. This is the current situation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Professor Haney, thank you for sharing this experience and insightful reflection. Maybe you can find your answer in the discussions we are having now. The integration of online learning environments offer a unique opportunity to explore new educational approaches. However, it's important to state that this transition may also come with its own set of challenges. Professor Wala Sarhan, we would appreciate that you provide us with a brief description of your e-learning experience in your institution and the main challenges that you face and some recommended practices.
First, I want to thank you, Dr. Dalia and Dr. Mona, for allowing me and giving me this opportunity to be with you here. My entrance to e-learning experience was a coincidence, as when I was in the States back in 2018, I admired using the learning management system there in Wake Forest University. Then when I came back here in Egypt, I was a member of the curriculum committee. And I found out that using the learning management system can be so helpful, especially as I'm a professor in medicine. So with the high much increase in the numbers joining us in the faculty, it could be of great usage and great benefits, especially in the 5+2 system. But when I made the proposal for implementing an e-learning unit in my faculty, and it comes with the challenges and obstacles, which I took with the risks. Then I struck with luck, I think, that when COVID shutdown came, we were online. So here comes the benefit of why we are using an e-learning system when we can be facing each other and learning each other by face-to-face. No, we don't have this time now, even if we don't have a COVID shutdown, but there is sometimes where face-to-face hours are not that enough. And making this your student and giving them the opportunity for self-education comes with the learning management systems and with the e-learning in a better way. From my own experience for more than 7 years now in e-learning, all the time we have challenges and obstacles that can be in points. Number one, we need to continuously learning for ourselves. In every day there is an update, not in every month. So we have to keep ourselves up to date as much as possible. Number two, when we are up to date, we have to transfer this knowledge. So continuous training to our faculty members is essential to transfer this knowledge when we take from our experiences to them. And number three, we have to be very, very patient and persuasive, because the biggest obstacle is the mindset. So the mindset is why I have to do it, why I have to learn it, and why I have to make it this way when I have the traditional way. So transferring it from the traditional way to the learning way and the more technically way needs you to give them, even if you give them the benefits and the advantages and the pros and cons and everything, you have to be patient and knowing that there is just no for no and convincing them with the results of the others. And not only training the staff members and our colleagues, also convincing your top management for why you want to implement this and what will be the benefits of implementing this before you do it. So your proposal have to be very, very well defined and well structured. And lastly, be patient with our students, which I think they are intelligent enough to go sideways. So using them in a very structured way, and they will find that the learning management systems make them go within a certain track. You enter them from a gate and waiting them from the other gate, and you know what will they gain in the middle. This is so essential, I think, in all our colleges, whatever medical side or non-medical side. So these main points, I think, are the main points in e-learning. And thanks for the opportunity again.
Professor Wala, we appreciate sharing your insights and the helpful recommendations you delivered. I totally agree with you. Resistance for change is the main obstacle or the main challenge that we face. Continuous trainings, continuous orientation is what we are required to do all the time. So I totally agree with you. People are afraid of what they don't know. So we continuously need to orient all the staff members and all the students of the benefits of the digital tools that we're offering. As we explore the exciting possibilities of online learning, understanding the necessary foundation and infrastructure is crucial for successful implementation of innovation digital tools. Dr. Mahmoud Faiz, would you elaborate on the minimal infrastructure prerequisites that guarantee a prosperous e-learning encounter?
Good evening, everybody. When you talk about the required infrastructure to establish e-learning platform, we are talking about many aspects regarding the networking inside the campus, the storage and the database servers that needed to host this infrastructure and data, and the application servers that will serve the students logging into the system to practice or to download their material. Okay? First, we need to ask ourselves, what is the footprint of our e-learning platform? Many universities go for Moodle, others go for Blackboard. Other universities decided to build their own e-learning platforms. So first, to identify the minimum required infrastructure for the e-learning platform, we need to identify which platform we are targeting and what is the footprint of this platform on the hosting servers. So the first assessment should be the footprint for this e-learning platform on the hosting server. Next, we do something called profiling. We need to profile this e-learning platform behavior when we have hundreds or thousands of users trying to log into the system at the same time. This piece of information, when we gain this piece of information, we build a profile for this application, which lead us to identify the required infrastructure. Of course, some universities like Ain Shams, we have thousands of users hitting the system every day. Okay, so the minimum infrastructure for ASU to learn, for example, will be huge. Other universities, maybe in the private sector, they have maximum 1,000 or 2,000 students in the campus, so they will need less required servers and databases. Next, we identify the behavior of the teachers or the doctors. For example, some teachers upload very large material, hundreds of megabytes or 10 of megabytes in their courses. Okay, this leads to the student hitting the servers, downloading gigabytes through the network bandwidths. Okay, which causes a lack of or latency in the network. Sometimes it leads to a blackout in the network. Also, we need to educate our teachers that no need to upload large files. You need to spend some time to optimize your material in terms of size. Okay. Which lead us to build a content management policy, which will be enforced in all along the campus. Okay. Finally, we provide some caching mechanism in the front servers, which leads to less hitting the database servers and lead us to more secure content. Okay, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mahmoud, for this helpful information and experience on this topic. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Professor Hossein Fahim. We wish that he could be with us today, and Dr. Mahmoud Faiz for being the backbone of our success in the ASU to Learn system and all the integrated tools that we offer to Ain Shams University in the e-learning system. Engaging industry partners in discussions related to education technology and innovation tools is of a great importance. Educators provide variable perspectives on the skills and competencies students need to succeed in the workforce, and industry partners can provide input on the latest technological advancements and market trends. By working together, educators and industry partners can co-create innovative solutions that enhance student engagement, improve learning outcomes, and prepare students to the demands of the continuously evolving job market. Dr. Khadija Al-Bidwihi, you have launched a virtual labs platform. Please tell us how this idea started, progressed, its impact on the efficiency of education, and your insights for its future.
Thank you, first of all, Dr. Dalia, for having me. So before telling you anything, you actually listen to Steve Jobs, and that he always say that you need to know the why. So before talking and before teaching anyone anything, you need to know why you are actually doing this. And that's how I was raised. My dad taught me that before learning any lesson, ask people why you are learning this. So why you people, all of you here, should listen to me, why this is important. The reason is, we've all now seen digital transformation. It's disrupting a lot of sectors, including education. But actually, since we are all in the science faculties and STEM, we've never seen traditional labs yet being disrupted. We all go to the university, to the faculty. We need to go inside the lab to do the practical work, to do experiments, right? We didn't think that traditional labs can be disrupted, but actually technology have done this. So I finished my PhD in human computer interaction in 2014, and I was intrigued by this idea. There is something called virtual labs. So the virtual labs is the solution to the many challenges that traditional labs have. Traditional labs, as you know, you go to the lab, you need students to focus and do the experiment quickly because there is a time constraint, there is a safety constraint, there is a time limit as well, and there is access limit. So the students can enter, for example, 3 hours a week or even 6 hours a week. So how can they really learn and understand and improve their learning outcomes if this is the way that we are asking them to learn, to go to the lab for a very specific amount of time, let alone the very high costs of lab construction and maintenance. So that's why we started Praxi Labs a long time ago, and that's why till today we've benefited more than 1.5 million students using the platform. So this is quickly how we started. Till today, we worked with more than 16 different countries. So universities in top countries, like for instance, King's College London in the UK, Glasgow, Ulster. We have worked with Texas A&M in the US. We've worked, of course, in Egypt with Ain Shams as being our top university here, Galela, EUI, a lot of universities, Cairo University definitely, and Alexandria as well. So in the Gulf as well, Saudi Arabia, our interaction with a lot of these universities is not just like doing business. It's actually adding a lot to us in terms of why we're doing this again, why it's beneficial. We've heard a lot of feedback from the different universities, and that's why we've been doing iterations. So for instance, just like recently, we launched our native app. Students had a problem because not all of them have a laptop, for example. A lot of them did not use the virtual labs online because they did not have a laptop. Recently, Dr. Dalia knows that, for instance, faculty of education and faculty of women in Ain Shams have been using the native app from the iOS and Android, for example, more than 50% of their time. So it's actually benefited them so much more than the web browser, for example. So that's how we iterate, that's how we add features that are very useful for the students. That's how we are progressing through the last years. I want to talk about something also very important, which is the impact. So Dr. Dalia mentioned, what is our impact on the learning outcomes? A lot of studies were already done, so we are not the first people to do the impact measurement. Since 2000, a lot of studies in the UK have found that students, when they go to the virtual lab, before the traditional lab, so complementing both of them, not replacing, they actually enhance their learning outcomes by almost 60%. And that's a huge number. And it just makes sense because you get the student to open the virtual lab, they see everything, they go towards the procedure, do it step by step, know how everything looks like. They don't have like technical problems, for instance. They are not shy to do it or do mistakes. So they learn a lot. They are motivated as well. So the retention increases to 80%. All these studies focused on this, and that's why we've been also very interested to do our own impact measurement. We started this last year, and Ain Shams is the first university to be working with us this year to make sure that we collect our own data. We collect data related to the learning outcomes, qualitative data from students' feedback, how they are feeling about the lab. For example, is it as important as the traditional lab? Do they want to complement it? Do they want to actually use it before or after? They use it sometimes for practical exams as well. I know that Ain Shams is doing that, Galila University is doing that. A lot of universities now are using it for practical exams, which is by itself is a challenge. So again, the impact, we are working on this. We've known a lot of feedback already coming to us, but we want to publish our own impact data. This is what we are currently working on. And one of the things I want to mention as well, Dr. Dalia, is that we have qualitative data coming to us from different faculties. So for example, if any of you here are in Faculty of Science or Faculty of Engineering, we got doctors telling us specific names of experiments that they couldn't do inside the labs, and they were only able to do it inside the virtual labs. So I know here that I wrote them down because I'm not a scientific person. So for example, there were the detection of salts such as the nitrate, mercury, iodine. There's also some biology experiments that are very, very high and dangerous. So for example, gel electrophoresis. You can have cancerous substances, and that's why you are really, really scared for your student safety, and you might not even do it in real lab. I've got students outside at the booth telling me that exactly. Doctor, we were able to do it inside our faculty in Ain Shams in Tarbiyah, or education, because we couldn't do it in real lab. And that itself is something we are proud to hear from students. And one last example as well, from the physics department, they also told us that we have some specific experiments like molecular oil drop or black body radiation. These experiments are very expensive to do, very intricate to set up, and they are very hard to maintain as well. And that's why the virtual labs come in handy and are very important to use. Last, so that I don't take more than one time, in the future, what we are looking at, very crucial, we've talked about AI, how it's important. We are actually now building our AI-based tutor. So we have a lab partner, and it will be helping students, answering their questions. So if I'm stuck in a step, for example, and I don't know why I'm stuck, I can ask my AI lab tutor and say, what if I do this instead of this? And it will actually help me. Or what if I put a different material? Or what if I use a different concentration? What would happen? It's all going to improve the students, not only learning outcomes, but also their problem solving and critical thinking skills, which are very important for us today. And we are also looking into the mixed reality, very, very important to improve the students' learning experience, to immerse them, and also make sure that they are collaborating together. I think that's the main milestones we're working on, and always adding more branches such as genetics, nursing, and moreover. So thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Khadija, for sharing this exceptional experience and your insights on the future of virtual labs and their potential to further enhance the learning experience. It was very interesting and inspirational. Lastly, I would like to extend my gratitude to all our distinguished panelists who contributed their insights, case studies, and experiences in the field of digital transformation of education. As higher educational institutions in Egypt continue to embrace the digital landscape, the conference has served as a valuable platform for sharing experiences and best practices. By fostering collaboration and exchanging knowledge, we can collectively refine our implementation strategies and develop comprehensive guidelines that ensure a fruitful digital learning environment for all. This journey of continuous improvement paves the way for a brighter future of education in Egypt. I'll leave you now with Dr. Dua Anas, our wonderful presenter, to continue our fruitful session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dalia, for moderating this session, and thanks to all our esteemed panelists who added value to this event by being with us today and sharing their thoughts and experiences. Now, we will tackle another significant topic, which is ICT knowledge and skills for students. Such knowledge is becoming more and more important every day with the fast development of new technologies and digital transformation. Students need to effectively apply, use, and manage technologies when solving problems related to information and communication, while keeping their data safe and respecting other people's privacy. This session will be chaired by two respected professors, Professor Hanan Kamel, Dean of Faculty of Arts at Ain Shams University, and Professor Rania Salah, Vice Dean for Education and Student Affairs, Faculty of Medicine, Ain Shams University. We would like to welcome Dr. Muhammad Yusri, Assistant Lecturer at Faculty of Engineering, Ain Shams University, and Head of Technical Support and Media Team, IIOE Egypt. Dr. Muhammad will present another distinctive experience and the new digital course ICT for Students, produced by the IIOE Egypt National Center as a part of the project titled Empowering Higher Education Institutions for Digital Teaching and Learning in Egypt.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be with you all here. And we hope that you're enjoying the session so far and find it informative and inspiring. So my name is Mohammed Yusri Zouraini. I'm the head of the technical support and media team at the International Institute of Online Education, IIOE Egypt National Center. And in this presentation, I'll try to give you like a brief introduction about the Information and Communication Technology for Students, the ICT for Students course that was developed at the International Institute of Online Education. So I'll start my presentation with a general context that answers how, why, when we started working in this course. Then I'll move to the course structure. After that, I will take you through the course development process, and I will finalize with the implementation of the course and the future plans. So, the first project that was developed by the IIOE Egypt National Center was the Empowering Egyptian Higher Educational Institutions for Digital Teaching and Learning. It took place between September 22 and March 23, and three main activities took place to achieve the goals of this project. The activities were the Digital Teaching and Learning Training Program, the Digital Teaching and Learning National Policy Dialogue, and the Digital Leadership Symposium. As we are more concerned about the ICT course here, I will only focus on the first one, the Digital Teaching and Learning Training Program. The training program took place between September 22 and January 23, with the main objective of improving the effectiveness of digital curriculum design, delivery, and assessment. And we had the honor to have Dr. Grace Oakley from the University of Western Australia with us as main trainer. So the program was conducted in 2 rounds. Each round included 3 workshops. They were how to design digital curriculum, how to effectively deliver blended courses, and how to assess blended courses. Following each of these 3 workshops, there was a support session. In this support session, the trainees or the master teachers worked together in order to use the tools and skills explained in the workshop and implemented to enhance one of the courses in their respective fields. But as an outcome-oriented program, they also were also together to produce an online ICT course under the theme of ICT for students, basic ICT for students. The courses were peer-reviewed, then were sent for expert review. So we envisioned this course as a 2-credit-hour university requirement course that specifically designed to bridge the ICT literacy gap among the students at higher educational institutions across Egypt. So a 2-page detailed specs was written and prepared and distributed among the trainees or the master teachers while they were working on the ICT course. But how the course looked like? So the course consists of 5 main units, which are information security and data privacy, Microsoft Office, email and Office 365, internet browsing and communications, online learning platforms, and finally, virtual reality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence. But the course have the other side, which is the assessment of the course, or maybe other features of the course. We still have the assignments, the quizzes, in the form of the submissive assessment. However, as a practical course, the main focus here is on the formative assessment, which come in 2 types. The first is the practical activities, and the second is the discussion prompts. The course also features high-quality, concise videos and an ebook that covers the whole material of the course. Finally, there are a number of external resources that will provide the student with a way to explore the topics more, and also will provide the how-to guides in case it was needed. So more about the topics covered. We have, in the first unit, we have topics such as social media risks, safe password practices, data privacy and data ethics, and cybersecurity. In the second unit, it's all about an introduction to Microsoft School email and Office 365. The third unit is all about to make sure that students know how to connect to the internet, what are the basic, the internet, like basic expressions and terminology, what are search engines and how to use them effectively, and finally, how to write an effective email. The fourth unit prepares the student for the online ecosystem of the education now. So it covers topics such as online learning platforms, self-paced learning for e-portfolios, learning management system, and virtual classrooms. Finally, we need to touch on the hot topics that the student will find in everyday life. So we have in the final unit the virtual reality, augmented reality, metaverse, and definitely AI. So how the course was developed, as mentioned, we had the master teachers in the training program working on the original draft of the course. So we had 22 authors from 10 universities in the first round, and we had another 22 authors from 12 universities in the second round. But once we have 2 versions of this course. At the International Institute of Online Education, the Egypt National Center, we worked together to review and edit and prepare the final draft. So we made sure that we combine these 2 versions and make sure that they complement each other. The final draft was internally reviewed by Dr. Heba Khaled, Associate Professor at the Faculty of Computer and Information Science at Ain Shams University, and was externally reviewed by a team led by Dr. Ibrahim Ouawad from the Dean of the Faculty of Computer Science and Engineering in New Mansoura University. I would like to take a moment here to thank the IOE Media Production team for their efforts to make sure that the course comes out in the best way possible. Our video editing team, our video recording team, our graphic designers, and our instruction designers. And I will leave you now with a sample of what they achieved and what the course looked like now. Through your official email.
Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will go over social media and how it can negatively affect our well-being.
Hello everyone. In this lecture, you will learn about the virtual classrooms.
Are you always on your phone? Have you ever started working on a task to find yourself doing something completely different after a couple of minutes? Well, you are not alone.
Virtual classrooms generally contain live video conferencing capabilities, allowing teachers and students to engage in real time.
Imagine a world where computers can think like humans, computing tasks that normally require human intelligence. Welcome to the realm of artificial intelligence.
Okay, so how we are going to implement this course? At Ain Shams University, as we envisioned, we will use the course as a 2-credit university requirement course for all the students and all the faculties at Ain Shams University. However, for the partner higher education institutes, the course is available for free. They can take it and use it in whatever way they see that fits their programs and their policies. And we here at IOE Egypt are really pleased to collaborate with any one of them in the process of implementing these courses at their universities. Finally, we will acknowledge all the rights of all participants that even touched that course in order to make sure that all the rights are reserved. Finally, our future plan for the course is that once the students start to interact with the course, we will collect and analyze the students' feedback and fine-tune the course. We are committed also to regularly update the content according to the recent references. We're also committed to improve the practical activities and expand the question bank. We are also considering preparing another version of the course in the Arabic language. And finally, we are working on making the course available on the IIOE platform. In this last moment, I would like to thank everyone who contributed to this course. Thank you very much, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad, for clarifying all aspects of this new interesting course. It is really important for every student to gain such knowledge and skills. Our valued chairpersons, what do you think of this initiative and the developed ICT course?
Actually, it's a very, very important point to be raised among the faculty students of the higher education, because it's a gap, like he mentioned, it's a gap. And this is the generation of the AI and media and cybersecurity, all the items that he mentioned, they should know this is the era of them. So it's very good to raise such a point. But my questions, it's a course of 2 credit hours, as he mentioned. Yeah?
Yes, I think so. It's a course of 2 credit hours, right?
Yeah. So the implementation process, how it will be implemented in the courses of all the faculties, sure, except the engineering and computer science, yeah? So it's overload, it will be overload or it's just to pass? How the steps of implementation of such course? I have questions, concern about the study load of the students. You got my point, yeah?
Yeah, I got your point. Okay, I will speak about Ain Shams University, especially how will it implement this course, because this course is open for all partner Egyptian universities,
okay,
and maybe other universities of the partners to the International Institute of Online Education globally. For Ain Shams University, we put the plan as this course will be one of the university requirements of the course, but it is not obligatory one. It is one of the elective courses for the faculty to choose to include in its basket of university requirement courses. So it is will be one of the university requirement courses. It is 2 credit hour course. It is not compulsory, it is elective, because as you mentioned, maybe faculty of engineering students or faculty of computer science students would not be in need to this course. Yeah. So it's we refer to each faculty to choose whether to use this ICT course or not. But if you ask me about my feedback when communicating with the faculties, maybe almost 99% of the faculties at Ain Shams University will use this course as one of the university requirements. The courses will not be a second part of your question regarding the load of the course. It's not be load at all, whether to the staff members or to the students, because it will be delivered totally online in a total asynchronous form. Maybe some small synchronous sessions in the beginning and the end of the course, with some discussion forums asynchronous also. So it will be convenient. The student will study in his own pace. The instruction of the course will be very limited and very automated with a minimum effort from the instructors as well.
I think the students will love this so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Rania and Professor Mona. You have a question?
I want to ask about how we prepare the e-portfolio for each student. E-portfolio.
E-portfolio is a tool that we have introduced in Ain Shams University 3 years ago. It's integrated inside the LMS, so as that whenever the faculty and the program has set the e-portfolio requirements and how these requirements will be embedded inside the program specifications, the teacher can ask the student to submit anything, any requirement, assignment, activity, a proof of training, a summer course, a CV, whatever. He can just create an assignment inside the LMS, and the students can submit this assignment in the LMS and export this item to their portfolio. Then the student can form his own portfolio and can share this portfolio from the ASU domain to anywhere where he wants to make a training or he wants to apply for a job or whatever. So the critical case here is these requirements have to be evaluated, and the student have to take feedback from teachers. If we just made assignments and just made requirements on the e-portfolio and left the students to submit without feedback, we will not close the loop. We have to close the loop by giving them feedback. So once the program has set the e-portfolio requirements and have put this in its place in the evaluation, whether this is a requirement for entry of the exam, whether this has some marks on it, every faculty is free to do this in its program. Once it is set, it's very easy from the technical point of view because it's integrated inside their LMS. So the teacher will only ask the student for everything through the LMS. You will also have more information from the students' presentation. They have elaboration and video for how they can use e-portfolios. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dalia and Professor Hanan. And finally, we have Omar Osama, a fifth-year medical student at Ain Shams University, and Salma Hatem, a fifth-year pharmacy student at Ain Shams University, who will show us the other side of the story with their presentation titled Students' Voice, E-Learning Between Reality, Challenges and Aspirations.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Omar Osama, fifth-year student, Faculty of Medicine, Ain Shams University. And with me,
Dr. Salma Qatari, fifth year Faculty of Pharmacy, Ain Shams University.
Today in our session, we will be talking about online education, but from a student's point of view.
Since the main goal of every university is to provide students with the highest quality of education. In order to get an objective student point of view, 2 surveys were conducted by our Educational Strategy Administration 2022 and 2023 that showed an increase in student satisfaction from 62% to 84% respectively.
Another 2 parameters that will be used in an upcoming slide is that it stated that 93% of the students have the suitable infrastructure for accessing online education platforms. Another parameter is that majority of students preferred flipped classrooms.
So in this session, we will show you some of our different e-learning tools, such as the faculty site, integrated educational tools, extracurricular activities, and lastly, a brief suggestions from our perspective. This is our faculty, our university site, ASU to Learn, and this is its graphical user interface. So what does this site offer?
This site, or our faculty site, offers plenty of platforms or plenty of tools, such as online recorded lectures and educational videos specified for clinical examination and clinical rounds, curriculum handouts, and flipped classrooms.
Let's start with the online recorded lecture. The upside of online recorded lecture and labs is improving my time management skills, my personalized learning abilities, and also being sure, of course, Of course, it's available anytime and anywhere. I just need to log in.
For medical students, clinical examination videos were used, and they provided us with the required clinical skills before and after face-to-face clinical rounds. It also had enhancements by text and graphics that significantly increased our understanding and attention in our classroom or in our videos. Maybe one of the challenges is it needs more synchronization. The online education videos need more synchronization with the face-to-face clinical rounds. And here is a sample from our videos.
Another special maneuver that we need to do with respect to inspection includes asking the patient to rise from the bed unsupported in order to detect any divarication of his recti. عم جمال استأذنك ممكن تهم براسك؟ Okay. Divarication can be seen right here. Okay, so I can detect dullness, which is elicited by the bladder, right above the umbilicus. So it would be wise to start percussing for shifting dullness above that, and I would move my hand from a transverse position to a longitudinal position, and I would move to the right side and then again on the left side, not going horizontally, but rather in a more inclined pattern.
Then you go to auscultate the cardiac base, the first aortic area, and the pulmonary area, with comparing the intensity of the second heart sound in both areas.
In this section, I'm going to show you how to examine the distant pulses of the leg. But first, as we mentioned before, you have to greet the patient warmly, introduce yourself, and explain the examination to the patient. صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
ازيك؟
تمام الحمد لله.
أنا اسمي دكتور فادي.
أهلا وسهلا.
اسمك إيه؟
سيد محمد.
أهلا يا سيد. اسمح لي أفحص رجليك، شوف النبض في الرجلين.
مفيش مشكلة.
شكرا. طيب اتفضل على سرير الكشف. So examining the distal pulses of the leg consists of mainly two pulses or two arteries that we're going to feel. First is the posterior tibial artery, and it lies between the medial malleolus of the leg and the heel. As we see here, this is the groove where the posterior tibial artery runs into. From the mastoid process, extending downwards in the neck, down to the clavicle and the sternum. So just anterior to the sternocleidomastoid, deep to it, and superficial to the muscle, this is called anterior group of cervical lymph nodes, and just posterior to the sternocleidomastoid muscle, and exactly in the posterior triangle of the neck, lie the posterior group of cervical lymph nodes.
Curriculum handouts. Our faculty site represents our curriculum handout soft copy in a highly organized and easy to access manner. In addition, it's better economically and more green.
Flipped classrooms. Flipped classrooms are personally my favorite. Being implemented after COVID-19 pandemic, I had a great experience using it. As shown in this picture, it's a comparison between traditional and flipped classrooms. In traditional classrooms, we used to just attend the lecture with the professor and then have our assignment at home. While in flipped classroom, it's reversed. And this gave us a good time management, and we can manage stress. Not just that, but also when students attend the traditional classroom, after nearly 30 minutes, we began to develop petite mal epilepsy, or for non-medical participants, it's losing attention. My personal experience with flipped classrooms is that I have achieved my highest academic score in third year using flipped classrooms. Maybe one of the challenges that could face flipped classrooms is not all homes are suitable for online learning, or could be like noisy or something like that. Also, as we mentioned in the survey above, there is 7% of the students don't have the required infrastructure for flipped classrooms. And those 7% students should also be in our vision or in your vision as a faculty.
So now we'll talk about our integrated educational tools, such as the e-portfolio, virtual microscopy, and virtual labs. For e-portfolio, going back to my very, very first presentation, I recall the thrill to show my working presentation skills and PowerPoint slide I meticulously crafted. Each passing semester, my abilities expand beyond presentation to include research proposals, scientific posters, extracurricular activities, and even my initial forays into the pharmaceutical sciences as an emerging scientist. I am very grateful for the concept of e-portfolio and its distinction from traditional CVs. 2 years ago, I recognized that as an ancient student, I already have a platform ready to craft my e-portfolio. The platform is integrated to my ASU to Learn account, and its user-friendly interface makes it an invaluable tool. However, despite its utility, I have observed that many of my colleagues don't appreciate this tool well. It's imperative that we increase the adoption of this exceptional yet overlooked tool.
Virtual microscopy. Virtual microscopy is an e-library that provides numerous slides for different organs in our pockets. It also, as shown here in this picture, I think that the screen is not not showing there is a note for the muscle fiber cells, and also a student can add a note so that he can recall any information he needs. Maybe one of the challenges also that face us, we need more slides, doctor, please. Please.
Virtual labs. Virtual labs have been recently implemented in our microbiology, biochemistry, and pharmaceutical analytical chemistry departments. Very excellent tool, not only for improving imagination and modeling a practical experiment, but also to learn to close the bottle and to close the PCR lid before proceeding to the next step. Very minor aspect, but they taught me how to be organized like an ideal scientist. But it's neat balance, so not to lose a physical experience. And also, why not more experiments? External resources like EKB and the extracurricular resources activities. Ancient students, of course, have free access to EKB. A lot I can get from this account, such as variable databases and libraries, medical and non-medical courses, but we need to make the best benefit of these features, we need workshops to learn how to access these different domains.
Extracurricular activities. They are essential for our mental health as a students, not just exams, studying. So we have the Student Activities Hub, which collects the clubs and all the events, extracurricular events, in one folder so that we can access it easily. This picture is the first medical magazine for Fikra Club in my faculty.
Lastly but not least, we would like to share with you some of our aspirations.
We would like for learning methods to re-implement flipped classrooms, especially in the clinical courses. For education, for educational tools, we would prefer of having a patient simulator, preferably using AI. And please add pop questions to the virtual microscopy. Offer authorized and referenced AI tools to enhance personalized learning. And for optimization and interface, we would like a better GUI and dark mode for our eyes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Omar, Osama, and Salma Hatem for this lovely presentation. It's great to see your perspective on this topic and understand how students feel about e-learning. We would love to hear the reflections of our esteemed chairpersons about this presentation.
Thank you for your presentation. Let me first thank Dr. Ahmed Samir. He's not here now, but he's here. Thank you for your effort in all student activities. I will share my experience as a professor. Actually, I feel that during the pandemic, it was a turning point in the educational life of the student and the faculty. Not the student only, and at the level of the faculty too. It was a horrible feeling when I imagined myself teaching to ghosts, online teaching. I'm sure that no one hears me, no one. And it feels terrible when I see my daughter listening to her classes in bed. So it was a very bad feeling during the pandemic. Then when days goes on and the time passed by, I discovered that sometimes my daughter is alert. She's alert and she listens carefully. So I found that she will be alert and the student will focus with you physically and they will focus with you online. It depends on you. It depends on you. And I discovered that there are many tools that can attract the student attention at online learning and physically. I learned the physically. I am expert at the physical attraction, but I'm not expert at all in using tools that attract my student online teaching. So I think that we as a staff need more training on using these tools than you. Again, this is the era of technology for the student, but the personnel who need more training is a staff, not the student. So more clever staff using these tools, more engaging classrooms, more engagement for the student, more enjoyable classes. And I think that when we use blended classes online and on campus teaching, this may help the huge number of students, the overcrowding classes, solve many problems that we face. Thank you for your presentation and thanks for all behind the scene. Thank you.
Please, I want to ask once again, what is the result of the virtual studies or easy studies suitable for you as a medicine engineer? Is this virtual studies very, very good or suitable?
Thank you, Professor Hanan. Any comments from our respectable audience or any questions?
I can answer you, Dr. Hanan, on this question. Virtual tools are very beneficial for using, especially in the medical field. In medical education, there has to be practice before encountering the patient. There has to be practice before going into the lab. So how can we do this with very limited resources? We have limited resources in labs and in the hospitals. And also we can't make the student go to the patient without being already prepared, practicing. We have to keep the patient safety as a priority. So using virtual patient and virtual labs and virtual microscopy is of great importance. It saves time. It makes the student more oriented about the steps that he's going to make. It also saves money for the institution because, of course, when the student can practice the experiment 10 times without costing money to the faculty, is better than he goes to the lab and just waste all the material and all the instruments that are present in the lab. Also, it makes the student more prepared for the workforce or the workforce requirements. So using virtual tools in the practical also disciplines is very important. We have also plans to integrate virtual tools in engineering and in multiple disciplines that many of us may think that it's away from virtualization or the education can't be virtual in it, but it can be by using the right virtual tools and by training students to certain skills and competencies before they encounter the real one. It will be very beneficial. Thank you, Dr. Hanan.
Thank you, Dr. Dalia. Are there any comments or questions from the respected audience? Anyone has any questions? Thank you. At the end of the session, we would like to thank all our esteemed chairpersons, speakers, and guests who enriched today's session with their valuable experiences and insightful thoughts. We really appreciate your time and are delighted to have you with us today. Thank you.
Just allow me to thank you in Arabic at the end of this day of English. شكرا جزيلا لكل السادة الحضور، يعني لكل الشير بيرسونز، لكل السبيكرز، لكل الاتنديز. بشكركم جدا جدا واتمنى اشوفكم في المؤتمرات القادمه، وبذكركم ان احنا عندنا بكره a very fruitful conference من الساعه 2 الظهر الى الساعه 5:30، مؤتمر الجمعيه العلميه للقياس والتقويم التابع لاتحاد الجامعات العربيه اللي بيدار من خلال جامعه عين شمس ايضا. يعني اتمنى حضوركم بكره، وان شاء الله تنبسطوا وتستمتعوا باللقاء والخبرات اللي هتكون معانا بكره باذن الله. شكرا جدا جدا.